Two former first-round picks just got released by their teams. Should the Arizona Cardinals go after them? Alright everybody, welcome back in. Now, before we get started, definitely do me a huge favor, smack the like button on this video and subscribe for more Arizona Cardinals content. Definitely on the road to 12K, ladies and gentlemen. The talk of the town is going to be free agency. The combine starts today. So, ladies and gentlemen, you don't want to miss any Cardinal news. Definitely subscribe it up and join the family. It's free. Alright, let's go ahead and get started here, ladies and gentlemen. I wanted to make this video to create a discussion and open it up to you guys to see if you guys would love the opportunity to possibly land one of these two former first-round picks coming out of the NFL draft. Right now, yesterday, Carson Wentz was released by his team, and today, Marcus Mariota just got released by his team as well. So, possible free agents for the Arizona Cardinals to go after in this year's free agency class. Let's dive right into it. Actually, before we do, I want to let you guys know one of my top people that I wanted the Arizona Cardinals to get in this year's free agency class. Deron Payne has just gotten franchise tag by the Commanders, so that dream has been crushed. He is staying with the Commanders, which is actually very smart of them to do because he is a beast and still very young. But let's dive right into this, right? Let's talk about these two quarterbacks that were just released by their teams, right? So the first one that was released was Carson Wentz, and this happened actually yesterday. Now, Carson Wentz was a former first-round pick, was picked up second overall in the 2016 draft. He was drafted over to the Philadelphia Eagles, but spent some time in multiple different teams. In 2016 and 2020, they did win a Super Bowl, but not with him. It was with Nick Foles, but he did do majority of the work in that year that they won a Super Bowl. Now, obviously, the whole Nick Foles thing happened, and then Jalen Hurts, and it kind of pushed, Carson Wentz out of the quarterback role. Now, he did find himself with the Indianapolis Colts. That didn't really work out very much. He spent 1 year over there and then moved on over to the Washington Commanders, and we all know that the Washington Commanders aren't, they didn't do so hot, right? Like, now they did make a playoff push as well, but that was probably Taylor Heineke more than anything. But Carson Wentz was released yesterday. Now, he is 30 years old, so he's kind of up there, right? Definitely considered a veteran at this very moment. But when he was playing with the Philadelphia Eagles the first few years, he was actually very good quarterback with them. Now, this last year with the Commanders, 1,700 yards, 11 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, right? Didn't have a very, very good year, but keep in mind, he was basically playing swing quarterback with him and Tyler Heineke, and so it was kind of a lot of not very consistent quarterback play for Carson Wentz this year. For the entirety of his career, I think he did actually pretty good, right? Had over 22,000 passing yards, over 150 touchdowns, 66 interceptions. So overall, I think he did very, very decent. Now, I think a backup quarterback would be something ideal for him to land in. Now, obviously, the Arizona Cardinals are looking for a backup quarterback. Carson Wentz is not going to get a starting job, right? He already went through 3 teams. Nobody's going to look at him and say, we want him as a franchise quarterback, right? Nobody's going to want that. Although he was a former first-round pick, nobody's going to look at that. Now, right now, the Cardinals are in a situation where we might need a backup quarterback for as many games that Kyler Murray needs to come back to 100% health. He's very, very intriguing for the Cardinals to possibly go after in this year's free agency class. I don't think it's going to be very expensive. He hasn't done very much in the NFL. So, he definitely might be a quarterback that's going to be on the cheap that the Arizona Cardinals can possibly pounce on. Now, this next player I want to talk about, I'm a little more intrigued with as opposed to, Carson Wentz, but Marcus Mariota was just released today, this morning, by his former team as well. Now, he's kind of the similar situation, right? The similar story. Now, he was picked up second overall in the first round in 2015 to the Tennessee Titans. Now, the Tennessee Titans and him, they had a pretty good relationship for 4 years, and then they decided to move off of him as well. He moved on over to the Vegas Raiders and then over to the Atlanta Falcons. Now, the Vegas Raiders, he was from 2020 to 2021, more of a backup more than anything, right? A backup to, Derek Carr. And then Atlanta Falcons, we all know kind of what happened there, right? They're going through a who's going to be the next quarterback for the Atlanta Falcons. So it's kind of similar stories to, Carson Wentz and Marcus Mariota. But honestly, I'm a little more intrigued with Marcus, to be honest with you. Now, he is 29 years old, but will be 30 in the middle of this next coming year. So I'm interested in the way that he plays, right? I feel like he would fit a little bit more, kind of Kyler Murray's skill set as opposed to Carson Wentz, where he's more of a pocket quarterback, where Marcus Mariota can actually scramble out of the pocket and try to make some plays happen. Now, like I said, both of these two players haven't had very much success within the NFL. At one point they did, but in terms of longevity, they haven't. Now, Marcus Mariota, like I said, has spent some time within 3 different teams as well, and I kind of figure out like he's in that same situation as well, right, as Carson Wentz, where nobody's going to look at him and say, you're going to be our franchise quarterback, right? They're going to look at him and say, you're going to be our bridge quarterback, you're going to be a backup quarterback. So he's also very intriguing as well for me. Now, he actually has had over 15,000 passing yards, 92 touchdowns, and 54 interceptions. The numbers don't look too great, and I'm fully aware, but please keep in mind that his only really start time was probably very minimal times within the last couple years, and his time within the Tennessee Titans as well. So his numbers might not be, big and wowed and stuff like that, but another possible candidate for the Cardinals to target in this year's free agency class, because when we're thinking about this year's free agency class, we're thinking about Jimmy G, Daniel Jones, big names that were out there that they weren't going to settle for a backup quarterback role, because let's be honest, Kyler Murray is going to be the franchise quarterback at least for this year heading into the future, and it's basically his job to lose at this very moment. So Marcus Mariota as well as Carson Wentz have been released by their teams. Are there any of these two people that you guys are interested in heading into the 2023 season? If Kyler Murray cannot start this season, who out of these two would you guys want as our backup quarterback? Because there's something in me that's telling me that Colt McCoy isn't going to be the backup quarterback moving forward, but as of right now, TBD. Let me know if either of these two names intrigue you guys. Let me know in the comments below. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Have a great rest of your day, and as always, go Cards.